Manchester United 0, Sunderland 0. It might be a boring scoreline, but oh my God, there is so much to digest from that because it was total and utter crap. And look, I'm even seeing people saying in the chat, he didn't have any midfield. What do you want him to do? Wash your mouth out and go and apologise to Amrim because Amrim didn't have a midfield and you sacked him. Oh, it's all right for Carrick though. Didn't have a midfield, Amrim. Got rid of him. So don't come at me with that. But what I actually want to know is, I actually do want to know what your excuse is for that. You Carrick inners, the people who want to give Carrick a 3-year contract. Why is it you want to give that a contract? Because I genuinely want to know. I want to know why you think that is a good idea for the next 3 years. Because I tell you what, I do not buy the excuse, well, we've qualified for the Champions League, we've took the foot off the pedal. What? Surely, I'm hearing people saying, well, we've just been chasing results to get in the Champions League. That's why he's been playing like that. So surely now you're in the Champions League and you're playing a team that conceded 5 goals at home last week. Surely you go and play your way. Probably you go and play a bit more expressive. You don't go and copy exactly what you've done for 3 months because I'm sort of lost on this idea that we've been playing this park the bus counter-attacking football because we've been under pressure to get Champions League football. So now we're not under pressure to get Champions League football. I thought we might see a glimpse of the real thing. Nope. Below 50% possession again, parking the bus, counter-attacking and hardly any shots on target. So if we're playing this way when the pressure's off, we're playing this way, aren't we? And actually, you know what? Now the pressure's off, you still need the job. Is this not meant to be Operation Get Carrick the job? I mean, that was shit. That's not... I think more Carrick inners are going to turn Carrick out now. I don't mean Carrick out, you know, give someone else the job. Look, I've always said the results have been really, really good. But when the results aren't there, what is there? You know, PRV, performance, results and vision. I haven't seen performance for months. I haven't seen vision, but I've seen results. And I've always said Man United winning is all that matters. But there's not much there beyond the results. And tonight, you don't get a result and then you don't have performance and vision. And this is going to be the problem. This is what worries me. And this is where, when you haven't got good owners, it's problematic because people like Jason Wilcox, Omar Barada, Jim Radcliffe, they don't know what Man United's all about.
Guys, that was bad. That was bad. Yes, it's a point. Yes, it's a clean sheet. Yes, we had players missing. But that was a drag. That was a drag. Just look at what happens when Manchester United lose a couple of players. Look what happens when we squad rotate. Look. That was the worst game under Carrick. But this squad needs a major, major overhaul. It really does. If we're going to compete in the Champions League, bro, we might get beat by Rosenborg. We might get beat by the Minnows. We might get embarrassed. This squad, relying on Mason Mount in midfield, a Joshua Zirkzee who has not played enough minutes. This is the level of drop-off that we are getting. And it's not good enough. This has got to be the biggest summer in Manchester United's history. It really has. I probably said that about 1,000 times, but we're here back again. That was the worst game under Michael Carrick. We had one shot on target in the whole game, and it came in the 93rd minute. It was awful. Absolutely awful. If it wasn't for Le Mans today, Le Mans, big up, our best signing by a crunching mile. Today could have been bad. Nobody's even took a break. He said, I need a break. If it wasn't for Le Mans today, that would have been 3-0 maybe. We were so bad. And it worries me to think that if Manchester United do not act in the summer and get the 6 to 7 silence. There's people look at me in the eye. You think I'm joking around here? If Manchester United do not get the 6 to 7 signings that are adequate, I'm going to repeat it to you. 3 midfielders, a left winger, a left back, and a centre back, and possibly a backup striker if Zirkzee leaves. Manchester United are going nowhere in the season. So you can blame Carrick all you want. You can say Carrick balls are so sustainable. I hear you, but you'll be saying the same thing under a different manager, where he's going to put square pegs in round holes, where he's going to try and get the best out of something that we don't have. So we're going to be here again and again and again. This is why we have to put pressure. For once here, the Manchester United fan base here, be unanimous, be together in one cause, and that the recruitment has to be better. Because we've just seen today, yeah, that sort of performance where Mason Mount, let me just put it down to you. How come Mason Mount, Money Mace, yeah, does not get the level of criticism that he deserves? He cost 60 million. £250,000 a week. Why aren't the media talking about Mason Mount? I'm not hearing this injury BS.
That was kind of predictable. My prediction for the game was a 1-1 draw, and for United to sort of drop off from what we saw against Liverpool, and it was worse than that, but it was the same result. United 0-0, first 0-0 we've had of the season. That game was bad. Our first shot on target was Cunha. It was very nice for United to remember how to play football in the last 4 or 5 minutes of that game. Yeah, it's stinky. Stinky performance all round, unless your name is Sonny Lamons. I'll speak about him in a little bit. Carrick made 5 changes. Some were enforced. Casemiro was out. I think Ugarte was out of the squad. Šeško wasn't in the squad. But 5 changes from the team that played Liverpool. Going into the game, I knew that United were going to drop off from Liverpool, from the tempo. I didn't quite think that it was going to be as bad as it was. That was an awful team performance overall. As I said, I'm going to go back and speak about Senny separately to all of this. Everybody played like they just qualified for the Champions League last week. As I said, it kind of went how I predicted. I didn't think it would be as lackluster as United were. Our first shot on target came from Cunha in the 93rd, 94th minute. That's so bad from United. And as I said, separate to all of this is Senny. Can we have a little minute or two just to speak about how impressive that performance was from him? And if he wasn't between the sticks, you lose that game 2-3-0, really. He's earned us a point there. He's kept us a clean sheet. And on a day where no one's really walking away with the head held high, Senny is. And it's not the first time he's done that this season. I wish it would be the last time, but it might not be. Given that if we're doing that against Sunderland, who's to say that we're not going to go and do that against Forest and Brighton in the last 2 games? Because from a quality perspective, Ahmad for me had the 2 standout moments. One from the pass from Bruno, the free kick in the 9th minute, edge of the box, just curled his shot wide. But also this, when he was put through, it's such a simple ball, but he didn't pull it off, didn't get it across to Cunha. That was a tap-in. Ahmad, I wanted Ahmad to be better today because he's just not been good enough all season. But if I'm being completely honest, there's 2 players I want to speak about not being good enough. If there's one thing that game tells you, shows you, is just how big this summer is for United. Because that was a game where we made 5 changes, some were enforced. We need such a better squad, man. We all know that. We all knew that. You didn't need the evidence of the Sunderland game, but it's just more evidence of it, right?